Hello and welcome to the Bird Tales. Now I said I was going to put some episodes together this summer, and it's only taken me until mid-July to finally start doing something. But I was thinking about what do I want to do, and then I realized what I need to do, something I have to do in order to put the Bird Tales together. The absolute number one question that I've ever gotten on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram is, how did you make your camera setup? The over-the-shoulder camera that I use to film the hunts. And so I don't have the backpack anymore that I used to use, so now I need to make a new one. And so I figured I would show everybody how to do it. Alright, so here are the things that you're going to need to create your own backpack over-the-shoulder PVC camera mount. I'm using 1.25 inch PVC that I got from Menards. I've got like, I don't know, $8 worth of stuff here. So, one of these T things, a couple 90s, a 45, a cross, like a 4-way, some of these end caps, some male threaded pieces, a female threaded piece. You'll actually need it's female threaded on one side and then the flat side on the inside. And then this is my camera that I had from before, and it still works, so I'm going to continue to use it. It's a little melty, but all I've done with this is taken the piece that came with the mount and screwed it into the top of a female end that goes onto one of these male ends. Okay, and a backpack. Now I bought this backpack at Goodwill for like $3. Miscellaneous tools. You'll need a saw. Now the first thing you're going to want to do is you need to build a frame in here to support the arm that's going to come out the side. So we want to fill up the bottom, up the center, and the top so it's well supported inside of there. It's going to look something like this. I've got my T and my end caps at the bottom. I've got the support up the center, and then I've got my cross here with my pieces on each side and a couple end caps. Now I've taken my knife and I have cut a hole right in the top of the backpack, and then I also took my lighter and I burned the fabric here so it doesn't fray anymore. Now I didn't glue any of these together inside of the backpack because it's just support. It's inside the thing, it's not going to come apart. And I might realize later on that I want to put another support across the center, and then I can easily take it apart or do whatever I want to change it, and that doesn't really matter. The friction's going to hold this together. I don't need to glue that. But we are going to use the PVC cement when we do the arm. And that's important because your camera has a speaker in it. And while you can't hear it, maybe you can hear it. As you're walking, if these are not glued together, even if they're really tight, they'll move and make little squeaky pops and click sounds. In particular, if you listen in season 1, you can hear them all the time. So glue your arm together, otherwise you're going to get lots of noise. Alright, so now we're to the point of the arm. Now the arm is arguably the most important but also the most difficult part of this thing to make and manipulate and get right. It's the part that I've broken off numerous times. It's the part that I've modified 100 different times. I'm going to show you how I put it together, knowing that this is probably how I'm not going to put it together once I mess with it a little bit. But you'll get the idea. And it's just PVC. If you don't like it, cut it off, make another one, and try and modify it in a way that it works for you. But here are the important principles. If you mount a camera right here, okay, your head is going to be in the way of the shot all the time. I'm a right-handed shooter, and so I'm kind of facing away from the camera right now. And now if it's right on my shoulder, what do you see? The back of my head. So it's important, if you want to get the shot, the camera has to be not just over here, but in front of you a little bit. Also, we want to put some means in there so that we can adjust the angle. Now, I don't like to have anything where it can bend this way, which means that sometimes it snaps off. But if I have a way for it to turn like this, it's gonna constantly turn and get twisted behind me. So I don't have anything for this way to adjust, but I do have a way for it to adjust like this. So I can make sure that it's pointed in the right direction, and I'll show you that. All right, so here it is. I haven't glued it yet, so it's a little bit wobbly, but I want to make sure it is the way that I want it. I might make this a little bit shorter, and so then I don't want to glue it yet. But basically, it's going to sit just like this. So this piece is going in the top of the backpack, which will be here, and then it comes out, and then I've got my screw-in part so I can adjust this arm appropriately. The camera is also attached here, which is another important way to adjust the camera angle. Plus, of course, the camera pivots there. See how it's away from my body, but up in front of me? Now it's gonna get shorter once I push all of these pieces of PVC together. You don't wanna do that until you're ready to glue. That's why I have these, because if you push these together, you have a very hard time getting them apart. So something just like that. I think I'm gonna make this a little bit shorter. I don't want it, it's a little bit too far out, but this is about just how I like it. So I'm gonna cut this a little bit shorter, and then I'm gonna glue it together and attach it to the backpack. All right, so here it is. Inside, we've got our frame inside, our little hole cut in the top, our elbow coming out. We can take and twist this off of here on that joint. Made this shorter and made this longer. So I think it's gonna sit more in front of my face, like more here as opposed to back here. I'm gonna have to test it a little bit and see how it looks on camera. But the nice thing is, because I put this in here, you know, if I screwed this up and I don't like it, I just twist off the arm, throw this piece away, and go make a new one that's a little different. So now the last thing to do is throw your camera on there. All right, then you put your camera on there, zip it up, and there you go. You're looking right where I'm looking. Now, I'm gonna have to adjust that a little bit, play with it some to get it right where I want it to be. But I know that it's gonna be looking right down the barrel because it's out in front of me enough. I think that's gonna work. Now, one more thing. You've got an arm with a camera on it. It's not a heavy camera, it's not a heavy setup at all, but this is a lever. And so this is gonna want to, as you're walking, it's gonna wanna flip like this. So, if you're a duck hunter at all, you know what these are. Now most guys, they're upland bird hunting, they want less weight. Well, if you're already choosing to carry on a camera, you're already choosing to carry extra weight. So I'm gonna take and put a little bit of lead weight on the opposite side of the camera to counteract, to try and balance it out, to keep it from wanting to do this. It's just a little extra weight. It makes the camera a little more stable, keeps it from wanting to twist on you. So let's see how that is. Oh yeah, that's definitely better. Yeah, and that's all there is to it. All right, that's it. That's how I make my over-the-shoulder camera. And now you can go do it if you want to yourself. Good luck, and film some good hunts. All right, I appreciate you watching. Stay tuned for next time. See ya.